Hey guys, this is Matt Powell.
To prove evolution, quote unquote, is mutation. And so the supposed best evidence genetically for evolution actually is some of the best evidence for creation. And just the fact that somebody would think that mutations somehow cause perfection and that we would get a perfect human species as supposed best evidence genetically for evolution. And evolutionists always like to claim that natural selection somehow disproves God, and it proves that evolution is somehow true. But just the phrase natural selection literally proves that the genetics have to do some selecting, or they have to make a choice. That's what select even means, hence the phrase natural selection.
We have C14 in 65 million year old dinosaur bones. No matter what technique you try to say or try to bring forward as proof that it somehow got contaminated, it just shows that apparently you don't know much about diamonds, because diamonds cannot be penetrated by nature. Nature has no way of penetrating diamonds because they're the toughest subatomic particles that exist in nature. And then before you know it, you've got humans. You go from Australopithecus afarensis, Lucy, all the way up to Cro-Magnon man, Peking man, and Piltdown man, and all these frauds that have been debunked already back in the 90s. And you go and you evolve through this supposed chain of evolution. Now, recently I was watching a debate between Dr. Kent Hovind and Maddie from Science Side Up, and that was their rescue device. That's their rescue device as evolutionists, is just a little mudslide did it. Here's the thing, guys. If you look at pornography, scientists have stated that it will erode your prefrontal cortex physically. It will destroy your brain. So the supposed thing that supposedly makes you manly in 2021 is the very thing that destroys your brain cells and make it so you can't even physically carry out what God designed for you to carry out in your marriage. I can't even believe that this is supposedly controversial, and that this video right now will be taken as controversial. And people will say that it's just so crazy to wait till marriage or to not look at pornography. I know of men out there that have very beautiful wives that still view pornography because their wife doesn't cut it for them, supposedly, is waiting till you're married, not looking at pornography, and even after you're married, not looking at pornography. It will destroy your brain cells. It has nothing to do with supposedly being manly. It will only cause you to be a worse individual and sick in the mind. That's God's judgment on this nation, is pornography. It's simply the judgment of Almighty God. God hates pornography. God hates divorce. And pornography is actually one of the causes of divorce in our nation right now. One of the leading causes, as well as finances. They're going to put a ring on the finger and they're going to marry you if they love you. They're not just going to say, oh, well, get the milk for free, but don't buy the cow. Whenever I hear that statement from some freak, it just makes me realize they don't actually care about the person they're getting with. When they say, oh, just get the milk, but don't buy the cow, they're literally equating a woman to a cow. People don't honor women today. People don't respect women. If you look at a woman as nothing more than something that you get pleasure from, then you're a wicked person. So one of the things that people point to oftentimes for proof of evolution is actually the solar system. You'll actually see that this idea that it's 4.5 billion years old is just completely bogus. When somebody came to you and said that the Earth was billions of years old, or the solar system was billions of years old, and that evolution was somehow a fact. Now, the way that evolutionists will actually try to fix this problem is through what's known as the Oort cloud. They don't even have an answer for the star problem. They don't have the answers. So why? But it's funny because these are the people that want to tell you that the Bible has errors in it. There's no evidence for the Oort cloud, according to the scientists that are out there that even invented it. Dr. Oort, the man who invented it, literally knew there was no Oort cloud. He just made it up. He just made it up out of thin air, and people talk about it like it's a fact, like it's really out there, but there's no evidence for it. And I think that it's just phenomenal that there's people out there that are more concerned about the pursuit of truth than the pursuit of present happiness. And he said, well, I don't know how you could believe that there was a Jewish man that died and was buried and resurrected. That sounds really crazy to me. How could you believe in this? And he said, magical resurrection.
And interestingly enough, for those out there who claim that the Big Bang is somehow a proven fact,
Nobody would ever say that the compressed air has been sitting in an air compressor for billions of years. And just in the same manner, nobody would ever say that helium inside of rock crystals has been sitting there for 4.5 billion years. Nobody would ever say that unless they're just ignorant of the facts. And, you know, I used to like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but that was fiction, folks.